talking about Earth Day, climate change, and a mixture of all of those, just saying ways that we can help our community, especially during these times. As you probably see when you walk around, there's a lot of trash everywhere, and how we can improve that as a community and help build our community through that. And first, I'm going to start off with a little icebreaker question.
All right.
And before we jump in, and my icebreaker question for today is, what is your favorite weather this past week? Because this past week, I was kind of talking about this earlier, where like this past week has been like every type of weather. So
great question. My favorite weather was definitely, I think, on Tuesday, this Tuesday, where it wasn't too hot or too cold, because basically after Tuesday of this week, it got really, really cold. Yeah. And then it got really, really hot. So it's just typical like California weather, where you're not really sure what you're supposed to dress for. So you just kind of dress like half and half or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you just bring a sweater, basically, like everywhere, and then it gets really hot, and you're like, oh, I don't need the sweater. And then later at night it gets hot or it's cold again. And you're just like, oh, well, now I need to wear a sweater. It's really annoying. It's really, really annoying.
It's so annoying. Literally in the morning, or not like today, but in the week, it was like cold in the morning when I left. And then like I was wearing like sweatpants and like a hoodie, and then like once it was like around like 10, like 12, it was so beaming hot. And I was like, I don't know what to, I was like, I'm just sweating in my clothes, and it felt like so gross. And then right when it hit like around 6 p.m. was when it finally got cold again. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's so annoying.
And so it's supposed to rain this weekend too. And it's just like, it's only one day of rain too, which is weird, you know?
I hope it doesn't affect anything, because since I'm part of the alumni Presente program, we're supposed to go on a hot air balloon on Sunday, and Annalie was telling me how because of the weather,
it could be canceled.
It could be canceled because it might be like too windy Sunday or something, because it rained the day before. But hopefully not, because I was honestly really excited to go. So
I mean, you're like me too. I was about to say me too, but I actually do not like hot air balloons because really? I don't like heights. So
have you ever been though?
I haven't been, but I just know I wouldn't like it. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of heights. I just wouldn't be able to like it. Anyways, well, I hope that goes well for you though, and I hope you don't have to miss out on that. Yeah,
me too. Yeah. And wait, for myself, I think Tuesday was also one of the best days for me. I think it was Tuesday where it was like, it was hot, but it was like windy hot. It was like nice. That's the type of weather I like too, where it's like in between, where you can just wear like a t-shirt, and like you can wear shorts, or you can wear just like regular pants because it's not too hot.
Exactly.
That's my favorite type of weather. But I hated Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday weather, the day that it was just like super hot, and I could not.
I think it was definitely Wednesday. Yeah, no, it was Wednesday. I remember because I walked home that day, and it was hot. No, I remember.
None of us like that. And let us know what your favorite weather this past week was. So now we're going to get started with talking about a little bit of Earth Day, climate change, and all that. And I just want to say, what is Earth Day? And Earth Day is an annual celebration that honors the achievements and environmental movement and raises awareness for the need of projects on Earth and natural resources for future generations, because us taking care of our Earth and our planet today will help our planet grow and not just be like completely just filled with trash. Like there are many countries where unfortunately that is the cause, where they don't really have anywhere to put their trash. No. And instead they burn it, which is really bad for the environment as well and for the people around it. So having these type of movements with Earth Day and climate change really helps our community, and that's what we're here to do, to just help raise awareness for everyone to be aware and to also educate ourselves on it.
So the biggest thing here is education.
Yes.
Right? Because we know that a lot of people just aren't knowledgeable about what do I recycle, or what do I where do I throw things away at, like composting, all this stuff. Because for me growing up, I lived in apartments pretty much my whole life. I never really lived in like a house until recently. I just moved, and It's been quite the change because now living in a house, you have to like put out the trash, like put out the trash cans and all that stuff, or the bins. And you have to put your specific trash in the specific trash bins. So in the apartments that I was living at, and I just have remember for the longest time, is just throwing away all of your like for example, like water bottles, soda bottles, all in the same bag as the trash that you would put like food in. Like you would throw away food in, or
it's like literally all one trash.
All one trash.
It's in a big dumpster.
Yeah, exactly. And we would throw that away in the designated trash area. Like every apartment complex should have a designated trash area, and then the ones that I was in, it would just be filled to the brim with just black bags of trash, and I was just like, this doesn't feel right. And
like, they just throw it in the dump, and that's it, and it just like stays at a dump.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just not. It's not good to do that, but it's also a thing that isn't really told to us when we're living in these apartment complexes. And I think a lot of the people there, because I saw people throw away all sorts of things like mattresses.
Yeah,
or
inside the dumpster.
Yeah, the dumpster, or like at old TVs, like all these old
TVs can be very like hazardous. You have to throw it away a proper way. You can't just throw it in a bin.
Yeah,
I'll talk about that a little later. But
well, you can talk about it now, I would say, because it's such a big deal because
well, I kind of wanted to say how also like in I remember, maybe it's different in every apartment, but I remember when I was living in apartments, they do have like a compost and recycling bin,
but no one ever used it.
Yeah, no one ever used it. But it's like really small, and it's meant for like all these apartments, and it's like, how do you expect it, like how do you expect everyone to be able to fit all those things in it? Because every time, I remember when like my mom would send me to throw out the trash, like I think some people would recycle and like compost, but it would be filled and like you can't add anything else, so you have to throw it in a dumpster.
Yeah,
because it's like, where else are you gonna put it? Because then the trash the truck, what are they,
the trash bin,
no, the trash people, like
the dump,
that come pick it up.
Yeah,
like they're not gonna I know that they don't like pick up like what's on the ground. They just throw all the bins basically.
Yeah, and that's a good point. A lot of people leave because it is so many people living in these apartment complexes. The trashes sometimes aren't big enough, so people leave the trash bags outside of the trash bins.
And they stay there because I remember at my old apartments, our like manager, she was like actually kind of strict on it though, and she had like signs saying like you have to like recycle correctly and stuff like that, and like saying like don't leave any trash on the floor, because then like at the end of it, I'd sometimes see her like she'd be the one having to pick it up and like having to actually put it into the dumpster and stuff. Yeah,
dude, that's that again, really really good points. I think, like I was saying, in a house setting, like when you're living in a house, you have to follow like rules. It's different, yeah, because the rules, because there's a truck that passes by the front of the houses. Like I think every Tuesday here in San Rafael. No, it's probably different around.
For me, it's Friday mornings.
Oh, Friday mornings, interesting. So it looks like they target different areas at different times, which makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be too much.
Yeah, that would be a lot. But yeah, it's been interesting, and I've been learning. So do you want to kind of go over like, okay, what is composting?
Yeah,
what
how
is
to
recycling?
compost and everything. Yeah. At my house, we have, if I'm being totally honest, we have a compost sign and everything, and I try my best to do it, but there are a lot of times where I don't compost, and I feel really bad when I don't, because there's some things that I just don't know. I'm like, is this compost? Is this? Then I get like confused. I'm like, I don't know which one it is. And then I just throw it in the black bin instead.
So what are things that you can compost? Like, do you have an idea?
Yeah, you can compost all food and all plant products. So
like bits of food?
Yes.
Can
just
be composted.
Like anything that is food related, and then bioplastics as well you can recycle. So anything that's food, plants, like a banana peel. You can recycle
things like that, yeah.
Yeah, like just food. And then there are also like bioplastics is kind of like for, I think it's meant for like more like restaurants, but maybe some people at home have these, where there's certain bags that you use for compost, and although it's like it's not really plastic because it's bioplastic, you're able to compost those bags as well. So you can also throw away those bags in the compost bin.
Okay.
So compost just has to do everything with food and not putting in any like bottles or like plastic paper or like even if you like have a cup and like food's in it, throw away the food and then put the plastic in the recycling.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and then from what I remember, composting is basically like it goes back into the ground, right, or the soil, or it's used as a kind of like, where does it go?
What I know from my knowledge is that they use it to. It depends where they take it, but I know a lot of places you can use it for like research for people who do like planting and stuff, and you can like, you know, like if you throw a banana peel in the soil, that would decompose over time. But it's also not ideal to really do that. Like if you are like on the street and you're like, oh, it's gonna decompose anyway. Like, it's ideal honestly not to do that because that takes like years for it to happen. But when you actually compost, they like take it to like a special like,
area
factory or something where they do it, and the process is faster. Because if you just leave it on the ground, it's just gonna be like there for like years, and then it's finally gonna decompose. But okay, I mean, it does decompose, but it's not. It's just not ideal to do that.
Right. Not do it yourself, but have the actual, you know, people from the garbage, from the sanitation services actually do it themselves because they know where they're putting it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Okay, and then for recycling, it's all clean paper, plastics, metal, glass, and styrofoam. And especially for recycling too, you want to make sure there's no food in it too. Like with if you're eating like
takeout or something.
If you're eating like takeout or something, don't leave any food inside of it. Like try to like not wash it off, but like just take off like as much food as you can. Because then it gets mixed up everywhere.
Kind of like what you have right there.
Yeah, kind of like this. I have food in here. You want to take out the food, then dump this.
Right. Yeah. So any like those plastic takeout boxes that you get, or even the cardboardy ones, right? I think I've been pretty good at doing that. But again, I feel like we're all guilty of just putting everything
and putting it in
one bag. And that's something that again, I'm glad that now moving into a house, I get to actually understand that more. And actually, like you said, there's actually consequences if you don't, you know, recycle, or if you don't compost, or just throw things away properly, because then you have to pay fees. And those can be expensive.
That's another thing with certain places, or not certain places, like certain like garbage companies. They make you pay a fee because if you're living in a house, you have to like pay for that service of the dumpsters coming by picking up your trash. Basically, you're paying for that, and if you're not doing it right, they charge you an extra fee because the only reason why they charge you an extra fee is also because it's making them put more extra work into dividing everything up. Because at the end of it, they are dividing it and like making sure that that's all compost and that's all recycling, so that they can individually do their own jobs
and figure it out.
And recycling, and recycle and like reuse everything that they're able to reuse. Yeah,
no, that makes sense. Because the other thing is, from what I remember from living in, again, all the different apartment complexes, specifically here in San Rafael, you know, I've lived in every single part of San Rafael, I would say. And no, I really have. Now that I think about it, I really have. But I always see the same common issues. There's always people that are putting their TVs outside on the street, or putting mattresses outside on the street, or sofas, like all these furniture things. And I always wonder where those go, or like what happens to those, because they do eventually, you know, leave the street, but they can stay there for a really long time. So I wonder if these dumping companies or these people that
they don't actually really take those though, because they're hazardous, and you can, for those type of things, you can just leave them at a center. It's different everywhere. I'm not exactly sure what the centers are here, but there are certain centers where you're supposed to go and drop off like TVs, microwaves, fridges, especially like light bulbs are also things you don't throw away, because they're considered hazardous. And same with like chargers, you go and leave it at a specific site and not throw it away in your dumpster. Right.
And you bring up a good point, that electronic waste. So as in like, you know, phones, TVs.
It's called safe centers.
Safe centers?
Yes. And they're not exactly sure where it's located here.
Well, okay, so for electric waste, so again, like the chargers and things anything that basically is like an electronic, those can get thrown away at, there's this place that I think it's called Computer Recycling or something. It's near. Okay. For those listening, I'm gonna do my best to describe this, but it's where the Starbucks is, where next to Staples here in San Rafael, where that Starbucks is, down kind of the street. It's called like it's kind of nearby the Best Buy. It's kind of in that area. I think it's like computer recycling. Oh, here I found it. It's called Renew Computers.
Yeah,
and it's a but they do a lot of e-waste recycling. And it's located at 446 Du Bois Street. Here in San Rafael. It's near, like I said, it's near Best Buy, and I saw that actually Staples does e-waste recycling as well.
Yeah.
So that's good. I also see around, I don't know if they're in Safeway. I've seen them in the mall. But there's also like, let's say you have an old phone that you haven't used.
Oh yeah, where you can go drop off your.
You can just drop off your phones
because they reuse them with either remaking, like fixing the phone, or they reuse it with like they break it up and put it into like different things.
You're
like
right.
Same with like cars. Like if you don't use a car anymore, they either like destroy it or they use the parts.
Yeah. I usually just try to sell parts.
Yeah,
but hey, you could get some money from that. But anyways,
and wait, can I for any hazardous waste, I found the center where you go in Marin. It's caught in San Rafael. It's the Marin Household Hazardous Waste Facility. So you go, anything that's hazardous in your household that you don't want anymore and you want to throw away, do not throw it in your trash bins, but deliver it to them. And also another thing, the trash man, they don't also pick up these things. If you leave a TV out there with your bins, they're not going to pick it up as well. So you probably know that if you've tried. And the address for this is 565 Jacoby
Street. I only know Jacoby. I know how to say that because I had a professor named Professor Jacoby back in when I was going to SF State. Yeah.
Located in San Rafael. So it's 565 Jacoby Street in San Rafael.
Yeah. And then also Zero Waste Marin, which is also a great organization that, you know, specializes in waste management like this. They also have a phone number for waste disposal. Like if you have like any, again, like things like that, like e-waste or hazardous waste or waste that you're not really sure where to throw away, they have a number you can call. You can call them at 415-485-6806. And we'll also put their website on the description of this live stream. Again, for more information, because it is important that we're knowledgeable about this stuff. Because hey, when I was moving, I didn't even know where to go throw away all the cardboard boxes that I had to throw after moving. But that brings up the other place I would like to give a shout out to, which is Marin Sanitary Services. So Marin Sanitary Services, they're located at 1050 Anderson Drive, and they're pretty great about kind of letting you know. You can call them, and you can also figure out where to throw your stuff away. And that number is 415-456-2601. And again, they're located at 1050 Anderson Drive here in San Rafael as well. So there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of places that you can definitely help throw away this stuff, especially here in San Rafael.
Yeah. Also, the last bin that we forgot was the black bins.
Yes, the black.
The black bins are just like basically everything that doesn't go in any of those, like plastic wrappers, just like hygiene products, stuff like that. That plastic bags, like napkins. Forks, napkins, just like wrappers and stuff like that. Just everything that doesn't go in recycling or compost.
Yeah. So, and that's the one that most people are probably used to and have thought that you could just throw away whatever you want in the
I see a lot of people, they just like the main trash that you like have in your house, they just throw that one in the back.
Yeah, that's what I see too.
I think it's definitely like one thing, I think for like households who are big in family, I think it could be really hard to manage like separating everything, and like because
there's so many people.
Yeah, there's so many
there.
people, and then like it takes up room. Like at my house, my roommates, because I have roommates, they are the ones that low key like separate all the trash. I don't. They're like the ones who start it, and then like I see, okay, they started it, so then I like.
Yeah, go
when I have my trash, I do it.
Yeah.
And the way like we have it, low key takes up like kind of a lot of room, and there's only 3 of us, so I can't really imagine how it is for someone with a bigger family. Because like we have our like basically like the black bin one, and then we have like our recycling, and then our like compost area, and it takes up like a little bit of our kitchen, because of like our kitchen's also like pretty small too. So.
Right. But yeah, I mean, this is great. This has been great. I did want to start talking about kind of how San Rafael in general. I feel there's just a lot of lately. I've seen just a lot of trash outside. And you know, I do my best to just kind of see, like, if I see like big wrappers or like big plastic stuff, it's just like throwing it away in the garbage. Because I see a lot of people who just pass by a lot of this stuff that they see on the street. And that's not always a good thing to do, because then you know, they're like, oh well, I'm not gonna do it, someone else is gonna do it.
Yeah,
but it's like it's not good. It's not good to have that mentality though, because
it's like someone else could just be thinking that the same thing that you just
and
thought.
It's the cycle that just never stops.
Yeah.
So for me, that I do my best to try to throw stuff like that away. And you know, just walking through downtown San Rafael, I've seen that since there's a lot of restaurants. There are some restaurants that I believe do a better job of keeping their side of, like, their little side of the street like clean, and then some that don't, because then a lot of flies accumulate.
Yeah.
And I've seen that a lot, like, especially, I won't call out the certain businesses that I've seen where I usually see a lot of flies, but they are there. You know what I mean? like you walk downtown San Rafael and you'll find
see that flies. Yeah.
You'll find flies like crawling everywhere, and you're just like, whoa, this is disgusting. So. And it's just because of improper cleaning from the outside of the businesses. And again, I think that's something for businesses to keep in mind, especially if you're working at a food business. Like, imagine go to this restaurant, and then before you walk in, there's a bunch of flies. Like, that's just not a good look. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah.
Like, being able to just like know how to properly be. No, it's not even that. It's like just being respectful, I think. Just being respectful to the outdoors and where you are. And like the one thing is everyone should just pick up after themselves.
Yes.
Because I see that a lot where people like if you're in a group of friends, like I don't get how people are so lazy. I'm sorry. Because like recently, okay, I always go out to eat to Chick-fil-A. But Novato. And what I do is I go behind the movie theaters and I eat there. Not on like anything
like where the
weird.
Taco Bell is.
Yeah. But like it's not anything weird. I just like going there to just like be alone and I watch like my show while I'm eating.
It's nice and quiet.
Yeah, it's nice and quiet. And I like went there the other time, and then I think like other people do that because then on the ground in the parking lot there are just like bags, like not a bunch of them, but there were a few bags of like Chick-fil-A, and it looked like it was like a group of people who like were eating, and they just like were lazy to throw it away.
That's just that makes
and it's
me
like
so mad.
You can easily, there's like a gas station right there. Gas stations outside have trash cans. You can easily just go leave it there. And it's like,
or walk into the movie theater, throw it away, and then watch a movie. You know?
Yeah, that too. So it's like just picking up after yourself and just knowing that, like, even though you might think that leaving that bag there isn't going to do anything, it is going to do something, because then everyone else is going to start thinking it's okay to do it. And then that's what makes our, like, all this pollution in the air and everything, because like nothing's getting properly thrown away. And
everyone's guilty of it. I'm not trying to shame anyone or anybody, because this is something everyone does.
We've done this too. Yeah. We're not saying we haven't, but we want to be able to change this and help ourselves as well to be able to change this.
And yeah, because I remember when what was it? Also in Novato, In-N-Out.
Oh, In-N-Out.
Super popular, right? It's always a bunch of people going there. And you know, I've seen teenagers just like go eat like outside, and then just leave all the bags on the tables outside. And I'm just like, You can't be doing that.
It's disrespectful not just to the earth, but to the workers.
Yeah, and having to throw all that stuff away.
Yeah, then they gotta clean up after you. Like, who else is gonna do it?
Right. What's interesting about In-N-Out too is that, you know, when you go through the drive-through, they ask, "Oh, are you gonna eat in your car or are you gonna eat out?"
They do?
Yeah. Like if
I never go drive-through.
They ask you that question, and if you ask like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat in the car," they give you like actually less like trash in a way. Like they give you a cardboard tray with like the, you know, what your fries and burger and drink, and that's it. So then that way it's just like you just throw away kind of that. And that's it. But instead of just getting the bag with a whole bunch of other stuff inside. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same, to be honest. Actually,
no, they don't do that. They don't do that when you eat in. I go to In-N-Out a lot, but I always eat in. I never go through the drive-through, and they never give me like a cardboard. But I mean, wait, they wouldn't even, because I always eat inside.
Yeah, well, inside you'd get like the plastic.
The trays. Never mind.
But also In-N-Out has, and most restaurants I think have gotten a lot better because of how bad trash has been, like, well, how big of an issue trash is in general. Because you go to any restaurant, you'll find, especially like a fast food place, you'll find a recycling bin, or you'll find a recycling place, a compost place, and a trash place. Like each of these, they're designated areas.
Yeah. Yeah,
because like In-N-Out has them.
Yeah, I'm like, remember, I went to In-N-Out last night.
So it's fresh in your head right now.
They have the compost sign, recycling, and everything, like little trash cans.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, do they actually like throw it away properly? Because and then another thing, I remember this was a while ago that I saw TikTok. I forgot if it was of In-N-Out. I don't know if you've ever seen something like this, and it made me question a lot of things. There was a fast food restaurant, and it had like basically the 3 compartments of like compost, recycling, and that. But then like the person opened the bottom of it, and it was all the same trash. So you weren't actually like recycling. Oh, you weren't
recycling. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I feel like
so I was like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
It could be staged. I don't know, but I wouldn't be super surprised if that was the case. But at the same time, still do it anyways.
Yeah,
you'd still recycle properly, even if it does end up going to the same trash. Because
it's at least you knew that you
at least because it gets you into the habit of doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, when I worked at Starbucks, we had
You worked at Starbucks?
Yeah, I worked at Starbucks.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I worked at Starbucks for like 2 years. And you know, when we were cleaning at the end of the day, we had a recycling area, and we had a compost area and a trash area.
Yeah.
And most of the time people didn't use it correctly. But what we would do is we would put, so for example, for the recycling bin, we'd put like blue bags. So that's how we knew that was recycling. And then for the normal trash, we put like just normal, like plain clear trash bags. And then for the compost trash, it would be green. So then that way, at the end of the day, when we're taking out all the trash, we would know where to put it. And that's how we function. And it functioned well, just that most people didn't follow how to like.
They just like threw it.
Well, what I would see a lot is the people would go up to the trash, would see that there's different like labels, and get confused. No, they get confused, and then just throw it in the normal trash because they're too confused.
I feel like for the best way for me to just think of it is like recycle everywhere is just blue, and then compost is green.
Yeah,
and then just like landfill is black.
Whoever created those colors, I gotta give them a shout out because like it does actually help a lot.
Yeah, that's how I always think of it. Yeah. Like, okay, green is compost.
Yeah, blue does, like the color blue does feel like a recycling.
Like, it feels like recycle. I mean? Yeah,
it feels like recycling.
And then cardboard is just, I don't know. We know that it's cardboard just because it's cardboard.
Yeah.
For like where I work at my other job, we do the same thing, but like for our cardboard, we have like a totally like separate trash can, but we don't have like a color for it. But like for the other ones, we do have a color for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think coloring the trash bags does help a lot. Yeah. And it makes it easier when you're throwing stuff away.
Because you know where everything goes.
The other thing I wanted to mention, now that we're again on the topic of trash, is that there's actually a lot of people, and I've seen this, and I've seen it firsthand because it used to happen at Starbucks a lot, was people would actually dumpster dive. So, you know, they would go to the wherever areas have like a dumpster, and they would either look for like cardboard boxes, and they would reuse the cardboard boxes that are thrown away, or sometimes like electronics are thrown away, and people get those electronics to then like fix and resell.
Yeah, I don't get why in some places dumpster diving is like illegal.
I you know, that's a great question.
Because it's like you're throwing it away. Why not let people?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what. Because okay, the other thing I remember seeing a lot was like a GameStops. You know GameStop, right? Like the store GameStop where they sell like video games and they sell like a lot of electronic stuff, and they do a lot of they throw a lot of stuff away. And you know, people, there's a whole community of people that like, you know, camp out outside on the trashes, and they look into the trash bins just to find like, oh look, they threw away this video game, or they threw away this figurine that was in the box the whole time, and they get in trouble after because people like catch them and they're like, hey, you can't be doing that, we're gonna call the cops, blah blah blah. Yeah, but it's a great question. I don't know why I wonder why dumpster diving is considered illegal.
Like another thing that like we all know, like a lot of people like don't have many things. It's like, why can't we just like use all those things and just give it out? Like, why can't, like, I don't know, it's just like it has to do with obviously companies and like how like the founders and like CEOs are, because like when it comes down to it, they can easily be like, okay, we're gonna donate all this to like this area and this area, but
instead of doing that, they just
instead of like with I know like Bath and Body Works does that a lot. They throw out a lot of things, and it's like you can donate that, and like people who need like body soap and stuff.
In California, according to since a 1988 Supreme Court ruling, so that's how far back this law goes, dumpster diving is just considered unsanitary and hazardous and dangerous to people. So that's why dumpster divers can be arrested or fined if they commit trespassing or garbage. Because I guess, okay, that's the other part, is I guess it does count as trespassing.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of trespassing
I see
on
how it can
private
be
property.
Unsanitary, yeah.
And I can see how it can be unsanitary. But I feel like my favorite way of dealing with, like, have you heard of the term like another man's trash is another man's treasure?
Yeah.
It's like, but it's true because sometimes people just throw stuff away, and you know, it could have gone to a family who needed that or something. You know what I mean? But you know, we can probably get into that
a little later
after a little break here.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little break right now, and I'm gonna play "Sole Purpose" by Evolving Wings, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Yeah. Evolving Wings. Yeah. I'm a genius, original purpose, resurrect like the phoenix. From the mother lotus emerges, no longer feel wordless. To be a service to purpose, it's evolving wings por vida. Got them all I need, eternal play in the brain, got me insane. Explain the pain, your seat's pain. My soul wounded, some moves can't be computed. God's great shadows meet the darkest alley. Demons came for me, but archangels parried. Swift swings shut the souls rapidly. Call it horror meets fantasy. Lower energies move like cavities. Sucker MCs, no substance. Ignore the earth's cry. Sucker MCs, no substance. Don't realize we never die. Misguided by subsidized lies. I'm guided by my ancestors' war cries. Borga floor spitting truth, encouraging your spine. Evolving wings is manifesting your divine. Don't give up, fly. Compassionate can't pay my sole purpose. Wings up, wings up, wings up, wings up. Compassionate can't pay my sole purpose. Wings up, wings up, wings up, wings up. Compassionate can't pay my sole purpose. Wings up, wings up, wings up. Compassionate can't pay my sole purpose. Wings up, wings up. Fui bendecido por los grandes que fincan cuatro paredes no pudieron descifrar.
All right, and we are back. So yes, again, that was Soul Purpose by Evolving Wings, and you can check out Evolving Wings' self-titled album, Soul Purpose, on Spotify, Apple Music, and any other streaming music platform. But yeah, shout out to Evolving Wings. I just wanted to give some quick announcements that open mic night is every last Friday of the month, and our next open mic night is going to be on April 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. here at the Multicultural Center at Marin. So if you're looking for a place to, you know, meet new people, meet new artists, or if you have anything that you want to perform, feel free to just come by. It's a free drop-in, so it's a free entry, free drinks, and free pizza. So yeah, hope to see you guys there. And then we have our annual career fair coming up on Wednesday, May 1st from 3 to 6 p.m. We are very, very excited to be part of this career fair, and it's shaping up to be a good one. And we're really excited to, again, have this take place here at the Multicultural Center of Marin. You can go to multiculturalmarin.org/career fair/ to find out more about the career fair. We are also looking for volunteers, so if you're interested in volunteering, you can send us a DM on our Instagram as well, at Tay Radio Marin, if you're interested in that. And then I would also like to give a special thank you to our sponsors of the career fair this year, to Kaiser Permanente and Mechanics Bank. So thank you both to our sponsors there. We're really, really grateful for that. And then we also have another event coming up this coming Monday. So April, it's already going to be April 15th and Monday. Wow, time is going by fast. But yes, April 15th, Monday, April 15th, we'll be having a Canal Neighborhood History event. So it's basically going to take place at the Health and Wellness Campus, which is located at 3240 Kerner Boulevard here in San Rafael. And it's going to be from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And it's basically a chance for you to bring your historic photos of Canal, newspapers, and any other memorable items that you want to share with the community about, well, our neighborhood, the Canal. So should be a really exciting event. Santi and I will be there. So again, if you guys are interested in going, feel free to come in. It's a free event. So yeah, we hope to see you guys there. And yeah, so just kind of going back into what I was saying towards the end was, yeah, I really wish that more places that throw away like this trash, like again, like toys that are still in the box or electronics that are still in the box. Like a lot of these stuff it's expensive. That's the reason people even dumpster dive for this stuff, because a lot of them end up getting it and reselling it online.
Exactly.
And that's the way some people can have to survive. I also see a lot of people that collect cans from the garbage, and then they go and sell them, because I think you get 5 cents per can.
I think it depends on what type of bottle it is.
Oh, really?
Some bottles are more, some are like 10 cents. I think it ranges from like 3 to 15 cents.
Yeah,
I believe.
But there's also people that, again, unfortunately, that is their main way of making money. So it's another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, I really wish that more places that were throw away a lot of stuff are able to just gift that stuff or give it away to people. I don't know.
I know. It's just like a big question on like, why don't these certain big organizations do that? But
because I remember the big one because the big one too was H&M and Forever 21, like these fast fashion
they throw away all these clothes that don't get sold. But it's like, why can't you
donate
fast fashion
or donate,
to begin with? Why can't you just donate it?
Exactly. So but
I was gonna say, wait, going back to you talking about what was it? It was just in my head. No, you had just said it.
Dumpster diving?
No, going back to when you said about collecting bottles and stuff. I was gonna say that is also like another thing. If you want to like make money in a way, but like also it's a good way of recycling and like learning the habit of recycling, because you just collect all those bottles and you take it to the recycling bit. What is it called? Recycling? What is it called though? The recycling factory? I think there's an actual name for it.
Like the dump?
No. You know what I'm talking about? The recycling
centers.
The recycling centers. Yeah. There's one in by Canal across from Smart and Finals.
Yes.
That one. You can go there and you can make some money off of it, and you'd be recycling. If you think it's too much of you like having to separate everything, then you can just like save all your bins, and you can get some money, maybe like enough money for like a Starbucks drink or something.
Yeah, you can get something.
Yeah, so I remember when I was younger, my mom used to do that. She would always collect bottles and everything, but then she stopped. Like, I remember we'd always go there, and it smelled so bad.
Yeah, I'm sure
it smelled so bad. But yeah, I was just gonna mention that.
Yeah. Ooh, and then one thing I want to mention too is, and I think just people need to hear this more, is do not throw trash away in your toilet.
Oh, yes.
Do not throw stuff away in the toilet because that creates a whole lot of issues.
Especially for you.
Especially for you, because I remember I had a neighbor who was doing that.
Ooh.
And they actually ended up flooding their bathroom because they had put so much into the trash. And it's really disgusting. And two, it's just it's harmful to there, and then also a lot of that seeps into the other apartments.
Yeah.
So it's and leaks and stuff. You do not want to deal with any of that. So
especially for the pipes and everything.
Exactly.
And especially if you're living in a house, that's going to be a lot of money.
Oh,
a lot of money for you.
So do not throw stuff away in the toilet.
It's the only thing that goes in the toilet is your business,
your own waste, your own waste,
and then toilet paper, because toilet paper is designed to break away.
Yeah, break away. Yeah. Exactly.
And be able to flush down there.
Right.
Like even hand paper, it's not supposed to go in the toilet because that's not designed to be just dissolved.
It has to be toilet paper, specifically toilet paper. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not like printer paper
Yeah.
or something like that. I've seen like some weird things that like just like weird like videos of like people putting things in the toilet.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, now we're gonna move on into, we've talked about climate change and everything with Earth Day and how to properly recycle everything, and I just want to give an overview of what climate change is. And it refers to the long-term shift in temperatures and weather patterns. And these shifts may be natural, but since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, which produce heat-trapping gases. So a big thing that us humans have been doing is making cars and that run off gas. And everyone has a car, mainly.
Yeah.
There are cars everywhere, and a way for us to like prevent that and to prevent our climate change from changing because of all the gas that's in the air is being able to just like walk or bike, having eco-friendly ways from getting from place to place. Because like,
or carpooling too. Like if you have to use a car and there's like multiple people, and I do that all the time with my friends because one, I don't like driving too much, to be honest. I really don't like driving. And I'd rather just like have, like if it's a group of my friends going out to like San Francisco or something, just take one car. It's better just take one car than have to try to look for parking and horrible parking situations in San Francisco. So, carpooling is great. I remember back in school, back when I was in elementary. In elementary, middle school, and high school. I didn't carpool with people particularly, but I knew a lot of people did carpool, and I remember there was this person that would go around like during our advisory times to be like, "Oh, how did you get to school today? Did you bike or did you walk?"
I remember that. Wait, it's called like walk. For us, it's called Walk In Wednesday because on Wednesdays we were supposed to either walk or bike to school. But if we lived really far, then you had to carpool or like take the bus.
I feel like most people probably did not.
No, I went to like a pretty white school, so like everyone was biking. Everyone was biking to school. Right. But for me, I took the bus because that was my transportation. So, and then there was this one time where it was like Walking Wednesday, and I told my mom I wanted to do it, and I told her to drop me off at Andy's Market so I could walk from there. So I can be like, oh, I did walk. I saved gas.
You saved gas.
I just wanted to feel incorporated.
With it. I remember that too. I personally right now, since I've moved, I've been able to actually walk a lot more, and I enjoy walking a lot more. I've always enjoyed walking because ever since high school, ever since I was a kid, I walked to school a lot because my parents would be really busy in the morning, and I would just. The good thing is that I always lived close to my schools, so I was able to like walk to them. And it was good because one, it kept me in shape, and two, it was just like I just enjoy walking around and getting like fresh air. You know what I mean? Yeah. It feels really nice. And then like walking down like 4th Street back home and stuff, like it feels nice because I get to see what's going on, like discover things. It's good to walk and just kind of look if you're able to.
If you're able to,
yeah. I know sometimes like homes are way too far and you can't walk, but even so, just taking the bus, like you said, like taking the bus, walking a little bit, because that's the one thing I really enjoyed when I went to Mexico was that, oh my God, the public transportation there is insane. There's like so many ways of getting to where you want to go because
really?
because there's like buses. So, like the Greyhound buses, like the big buses that you get here, like here,
Oh, yeah.
that are available here, like that ones that take you from here all the way to like LA or something like that. And they're really nice. Basically, all the buses, well, in Mexico City at least, a lot of them, they're basically like Greyhound buses where they're huge and there's like a whole bunch of space.
A lot of gas.
No, because they're actually they have it all figured out because there's so many people living in Mexico City that they do a good job of just like providing
Just
like
buses?
just buses in general, and for letting people know like, hey, just take public transport. Because driving in Mexico City sucks because no one knows how to drive there. That's just facts. But at the same time, it's like you're saving a lot more money just taking the bus and then have to worry about all the parking and everything. And it's just, and there's also a metro system as well, like a whole metro system. And it's just so much, for me, it was so much fun just being able to like be like, oh wow, I can go visit my aunt's house like across the city by just taking the bus. And just like, I feel like Marin doesn't have enough public transportation options for people who want to go to the East Bay or the South Bay. Because unfortunately, in the South Bay, you have the Golden Gate Bridge. So you have to get through the Golden Gate Bridge. But what's interesting is that, BART, the BART system that's
The train?
the one that, connects the East Bay, South Bay, like basically everywhere.
Yeah, the BART.
Everywhere
Never mind.
in the Bay,
I was
main
thinking
Bay
of the
area.
smart train.
Yeah. No, not the smart train. The smart train is cool, but I don't know. I'd rather have a train that takes me to like
Really
San
far,
Jose
yeah.
or takes me to San Francisco. And Marin was part of that conversation when the BART was first being like constructed. But the people living here at the time were like, oh no, we don't really need that. Like whoever was.
Well, I think
it
would have taken more resources because of the bridge. They would have to create something for the bridges to align. Like, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, but like I still think that BART would have gone a long way having it here, because then it would have connected us to so many different parts of the Bay Area. Because that's the thing about Marin is like if you want to go to San Francisco,
Marin might be
you need
more
to drive.
little diverse.
Yes.
With that.
Yes, it would. And also the other thing I just forgot about was the ferry. The ferry is a great way of getting to the city from here to Marin.
Yes.
Or
you don't got
you
don't got to carpool with just your friends. You can carpool with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so much fun going on. I love going on the ferry.
I used to go on the ferry a bunch when I was a kid. I haven't been in like years. I think I was like supposed to go a year ago with one of my friends. We were like, oh, let's take the ferry, but we ended up driving there because we missed the ferry. So we ended up driving. Yeah. And just knowing that once again reducing your gas fuel to produce fewer greenhouses, and walking just helps you overall your health and fitness level. I feel like for me, right now I kind of live like not really that close to anywhere where I can walk, but it's just like kind of like if you pretend like there are places where I sometimes like go somewhere like far, but I kind of want to walk, so I just park somewhere and then I walk like the rest of it. So then I walk back. That's like another thing that I feel like helps. In a way, helps a little bit.
It does. Like
just go driving halfway and then walking the rest.
Walking the rest, yeah. And then in the morning, waking up and then just walking there. It's good. It's a good exercise. So
yes, it helps produce. When you walk in the morning, it helps produce your blood flow easier throughout the day. And then another thing for an action for climate change that we do is eating more vegetables and fruit, which for example, like fruits, whole grain, nuts, and seeds, and they significantly lower your environmental impact by producing plant foods. Generally result in fewer greenhouses because it's fewer waste that that's leading out of your house.
Plastics and stuff.
Yeah, less plastic that's leaving your house.
Food, because most processed food, like for example, if you get like a microwave oven food or something, or you get like a pizza box, that all includes some sort of trash in it. But then if you're just eating fruit, like especially if you have a garden and you start growing your own food and stuff,
you don't gotta throw anything away.
Throw anything away, yeah.
Just put it back in soil.
Yeah. And also,
exactly.
You know, less dishes for you to do, less having to use water.
Yeah, and another thing that just came to my head was I know a lot of people do this because I see it when I go to people's houses. Is people are sometimes lazy on washing dishes.
Yeah.
And I'm not like saying anything, but like it's funny how like people are like lazy to wash.
Fingers,
Yeah, I'm not pointing fingers, but people are lazy to wash dishes. So you know what they do and say instead they buy plastic like plates and everything, and they use that for like years. Like I know people who like only use plastic plates and because they don't want to do dishes.
I know what you mean. Yes, I know people like that exactly. Like also buy
and it's like
yeah,
it's just wasteful. Like there's no need for you to do that. Like just because that's creating so much waste. Every day you're having to use like 3 to 4 plastic plates and like having to throw it away.
And then you waste more money that way too. Because then you keep buying more plastic plates. So
just grab a sponge, go like this.
But no, I totally know that people are like that. And it did throw me off a couple of times when I've been to people's houses and that's how they operate. But it's just like, I mean, it's just because they're late. No, they literally have told me that they're just lazy. They don't want to wash dishes.
Yeah, I know.
They'd rather just throw it away. And I'm like, oh, well, all right, you know. But
you do you.
You do you. But
I mean, be thoughtful of the environment.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. And if anything, another action is saving energy at home. This kind of goes in with what we were just talking about with the plates. I wouldn't say use the dishwasher. Like you can use the dishwasher, but preferably you would want to hand wash because it takes up less.
Like most dishwashers just like break down or just don't work all the time.
Mine's like broken down. So it's like what's the point? You're not using as much water and like just reducing your water. Kind of what I do when I wash dishes. I like just wet the plate and like take everything out and I turn it off and I just scrub like all my dishes first and then turn on the water again. Because it's like sometimes you're like scrubbing it and you just have the water on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's just it doesn't always work. The way you want it to
exactly. And like same with water, like reducing your time in the shower because a lot of people like taking long showers. But if you really need that long shower, then take it.
There are people that take a really long showers.
I've recently reduced my shower time because I used to take like around like 20 to 30 minutes. But like
what?
Yeah, like I took really long showers before, but it's because like most of the time I'd just be like standing in the shower.
I mean, it feels nice, especially after a long day of work. I'm usually a person that showers at night. So, you know, after a long day, I'm just like, I'm going to shower and then go to sleep. But I feel like if you shower in the morning, you would waste less just because you're kind of in a more rush in the morning. So you're just kind of washing and just, like, okay, I got to get out of here. So, and I used to actually shower in the morning when I was like a kid. Like I was more into that when I was like in middle school and early high school. But then like halfway through high school, I started showering more at night. And that's because I just was doing more stuff at night. And I would get home late. And I hated, like, I didn't really like showering in the morning because then I'd have to sleep like all sweaty and stuff. And I don't like that.
Yeah, me too. I don't like
that. So that's why I usually like shower at night. But yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a very, very good point.
And also if you live in a house or have your own washer machine, using cold water actually reduces the gas that's being used. So some people do it. And also when you wash your clothes in hot water, for the most part, that's what shrinks it too. And washing it in cold water for most, or like what I always like look at my tags on how to like wash my clothes.
Yeah.
Your tags tell you how to wash your clothes.
Yes.
And most of them are all always like wash in cold water. Like you don't need to use the hot water, guys.
Interesting.
Yeah. For most clothing, like all my clothing basically is all cold water, and it helps reduce the gas, as I said. And another way is just if you're able to hang dry and like you have a backyard to like hang dry your clothes, then you can hang dry your clothes so you're not using the dryer's electricity or none of that. And then another thing is also like just a lot of people like turning on the heat. You don't need to turn on the heat.
Yeah, no, you don't. And I think for me too, I do that as well because I have a lot of clothes that I spend like a lot of money on, like clothes that are expensive that I don't want to like necessarily put in the dryer because I know it'll ruin it. So that's why.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I actually put delicates. It's all the delicate clothes. I have a lot of delicate clothes that I just, like you said, I wash it in cold water because that's what it says it should be washed in first of all, and then I just let it air dry. And in that way, I felt like on the clothes that I have done that, they look just like how I first bought them.
Yeah,
basically.
It helps your clothes last longer, and it helps it not fade as well. I do that for half my clothes. I hang dry it. Just on specific clothes I do that, but other clothes I just dry it.
Yeah, like clothes that I know that I like. I know I'm just gonna keep wearing and wearing and wearing. Like I just do that. But for like sweaters, like big sweaters that I that are like more delicate and stuff, I definitely am more careful with how I wash them. But yeah. Yes.
And another thing, my last thing to mention for at home is just switching to LED lights, LED light bulb.
LED lights.
Yeah,
LED lights. Yeah, LED lights. Yeah. Really? Those are better?
Yeah, switching to LED light bulbs and energy efficient electric appliances. And you can find those at Home Depot and what's the other?
Home Depot, Lowe's.
I think just Lowe's. Yes, you can find it there. I'm not sure if those would be on the more expensive side.
What do you mean by like energy
sufficient? Where those basically require less energy.
But like, what are you talking about specifically?
Like, appliances, like dishwashers, stoves, stuff like that.
Yeah. I understand those are expensive though.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know if they're more on the expensive side, but I assume they are.
I just recently actually got an air purifier. I don't know if you've ever used those
I do.
Before.
Yeah. I know what they are.
Yeah, and I actually used one, and with my house, it's just like I have like I have a pretty big room, so it's like sometimes the air just gets a little weird, and I'd rather just have like an air purifier, and it's good, and it's like an energy efficient one. Like it has different modes on it and stuff. We'll see how my electric bill is, because that's the other thing I wanted to mention here was that all the water waste, all the electricity that you use up, especially in a house setting. I know there was actually some apartments too where you have to pay for electricity or certain utilities. But for me, like living in an actual house, like it's like you have to pay for the water and the electricity. So it's like you feel a bit more careful about how much you're using. If that makes sense. Yeah. You don't want to pay, you don't want to end up having a big bill or something.
And especially like during the day, what I try to do is I try to like not turn on any lights, and I just open up a bunch of the windows, like the curtains. I mean, I just open them up because then it brings light. But then for me, one thing, actually, never mind. I was about to call someone out. Never mind. Okay. I'm gonna hold that back. But overall, climate change is a big thing, and I think we all like have heard about it, especially with like wildfires
and sea level
rising, and it's just happening around all of us, and just us just being educated and just doing these little things that go a long way, basically. Like just knowing how. The big thing is just knowing how to recycle and compost everything, and then just picking up after yourself is one of the big things that I personally need to also work on.
And sea level rise is a big deal here in San Rafael, especially because in Canal,
I was gonna say,
it floods really, really bad in Canal, and it only is getting worse. Luckily, there are people trying to keep that from happening, because eventually, if they don't take care of this issue, if the city doesn't take care of this issue, it could flood out the entire canal, which would be horrible, because then a lot of people are going to lose their homes. Very dangerous, and a lot of people end up losing their houses, or it just destroys an entire neighborhood, which is not a great thing to have happen. So the city is working slowly but hard, I would say, on getting that resolved, especially with projects such as the Discordia Marsh project, which is supposed to create a kind of levee, or create
little blockage.
Between,
like the homes and the water.
But then it gets complicated because the city doesn't really want to pay for it.
Yeah, and it's like it all comes down to money.
It all comes down to money, and it is a lot of money, but it's like people need to understand that this needs to be done, or else they're gonna have to pay more money in the end. If the whole neighborhood gets destroyed, you're gonna have to pay a ton more money.
I bet there's like over 1,000 people living there.
Yeah,
as well, and it all comes down to us as like in climate change. This is a generational thing. Like we, as like our generation, need to pick up on this.
No, but I think this generation, especially like Gen Z, and has done a good job of getting more education on it.
I think so as well. Yeah.
Because this type of education, this stuff wasn't really taught in schools
When I was younger,
growing up.
no.
It was not taught at all.
Wait, actually, compost for me was when I was like in elementary. That was it though. It wasn't actually taught.
It was also probably
just
taught
emphasized.
to me, but it just wasn't reiterated enough.
Yeah.
They would teach you one day, and then especially as a kid, you only retain so much information at a time.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh, okay, that was cool. I don't remember that anymore. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It doesn't apply to me.
It doesn't apply to me anymore.
I ain't a kid no more.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we are close to the end of the show, and we are going to be wrapping up now. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's show on our climate change, how we try to change our day-to-days on helping the earth, and how we are trying to still improve. And we just came on here to just educate everyone and educate ourselves. And we hope that you guys can take something from this and apply it to your daily lives as well, because we want to grow as a community, not break as a community.
It's a group effort.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys
next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.